next year, but that's not why I'm here this morning to talk to you. I've been thinking about something that's been pretty profound in my life. Many of y'all have kind of heard this story. It's going to be a story. Be patient. Stay with me for a minute. I think it's going to be worth it. It's the reason that you need to eliminate bitterness in your life and the benefits personally and professionally. I want to tell you a quick story. We're going to call this guy John so we protect the innocent. He's not innocent, by the way. Matter of fact, he's a scoundrel. But we're going to call him John. Years ago, I did a real estate deal. And at the conference table at the closing, there were two attorneys, a banker, an assistant, me, and John. And he kind of grinned, had this smirkish grin on his face. And he said, I want to bring your attention to page whatever it was in the contract. So we flipped over. I didn't have a clue what he was talking about. And he said, read that clause. And I did. I'll be honest with you, I still didn't know what it meant. And the attorney looked over at me and he said, well, I'll tell you exactly what it means. He gets to buy it at this price rather than that price. And I said, well, what does that equate to in dollars? And he said, it's $40,000. And I said, so I need the $40,000. And he said, well, you're not going to get it. And the guy laughed at me, John, we're calling him, and he pointed at me and he said, I got you. And I'm going to tell you something. I wanted to come across that table on this guy, just to be honest, because I needed the money. And he laughed, and it humiliated me in front of attorneys, bankers, and I was pretty upset, needless to say. And I said, what can we do? And he said, well, you don't have a choice. You got to sell it. And it's a complicated real estate deal. But anyway, needless to say, I signed it and I left out of there and I was so angry. Well, the next 2 years, I harbored this bitterness at this guy. To be honest, I hated this guy, and that's not the right spirit to have. I thought about it every day. Constantly, I thought about it. So, make a long story short, 2 years later, I get to a hunting trip I'm going to take with 16 guys. We're taking 4 Broncos. We're going to Buffalo, Wyoming to a deer hunt. You're already figuring it out. So I get there early in the morning. Robin drops me off. I kiss her bye, get my luggage, get my gun. I turn around and there stands John. And I didn't know what to do. 2 years had gone by and I'd been harboring this bitterness. Now I'm about to spend 10 days with a guy in Buffalo, Wyoming on a deer hunt that I hated. And I really thought about calling Robin, telling her to come back and get me, and I decided not to. And so I went on the trip. 10 days we're out there hunting. Second day we're hunting on Johnny Z's property. He's got a 67,000 acre ranch out there. I'm sitting on top of a hill and I look down, look through my binoculars. Who do I see? There's John walking in the bottom. And I'm going to tell you what happened to me at that moment. Something I'm pretty embarrassed to even admit, but I'm going to tell you. I thought about shooting the guy. Literally, I thought about killing this guy. I picked up my gun and then I started shaking. I thought, God, this is bad. I put the gun down and I joke about it now. I said the only reason I didn't shoot him, I couldn't decide how to tell the law that I killed a deer with an orange vest on. Anyway, just a little humor. I have to throw a little humor in there because I get mad. So anyway, I said I got to get control of this. So anyway, we get back in the truck. We hadn't spoke. We've been out there 10 days. I hadn't spoke to this guy. We get 60 miles outside of Nashville. His truck breaks down. At first I thought, well, good for you. But all 4 cars stopped and I got out, and I don't know why at that moment I made a decision to let this go, but I did. And I walked up to him and I said, hey John, if we'll get somebody to take me to my house, it's about 60 miles from here. I've got a Blazer at home in my driveway and I'm going to loan it to you until you get yours fixed. And he looked at me like I had 2 heads. He's like, what? And I said, no, really, man. We get to my house and we're standing out in my driveway. I gave him the keys to my truck. And he said, man, I'm going to pay you that money back. I said, I'm not doing this to get the money back. I'm doing this for my benefit, not for your benefit. Because this bitterness has killed me for 2 years. It's around every thought. It's around everything I do. I said, my Lord, I'm a Sunday school teacher and a deacon at my church, and I hate you. And he said, man, I'm sorry. And I said, hey, forget it. Well, I never got my money, and that's beside the point. But what I did get was freedom. I let it go that day, and I chose to forgive that guy and to get that off my mind. Let me tell you something. Bitterness will squelch every ounce of creativity you've got. Man, if you're harboring that kind of bitterness today, trust Big A on this. Get rid of it. It'll ruin your life. It'll squelch your creativity. It will cause you agony and pain and grief like you've never experienced in your entire life. And I want to tell you, your life will be better as a result of it. I know what some of you are thinking. He doesn't deserve my forgiveness. No, he doesn't. But it's not about them, it's about you and what can transpire in your life if you will let that junk go. So trust me on this. Your life will be better as a result of it. Your family's life will be better as a result of it. Your creativity will come back. You won't quit demanding justice. And you can go on and live your life, okay? All right, man, I'm excited. Monday morning, we're going to kill them today. This week is going to be awesome. If any of you guys are experiencing what I am, put a stake in the ground today and say, today's the day. I'm going to let this go, okay? You guys have a great week. I'm Aaron Walker, coming to you live from the Greenway in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Have a great one. We'll see you.